name is Katina Morrison. As she mentioned, I am the founder and president of Inflamed Sister Thriving, the 501c3 nonprofit organization. The goal of and the mission of our nonprofit is to empower women and men who live with inflammatory diseases.
I learned about Inflamed Sisters Thriving through following a variety of RA warriors. For example, Ashley Nicole. I had followed her on LinkedIn for several years, and then when I decided to launch my Instagram account to do osteoarthritis awareness and advocacy, I came in contact with Katina Morrison.
I met Katina at an event it was in 2023, it was a breast cancer event. That same evening, I reached out to her and I invited her to my event, which was a gala coming up in December, and she purchased a ticket, very supportive, and we've been supporting each other ever since.
You're advocating for people who live with osteoarthritis. For someone who is newly diagnosed, where would you tell that person to start?
As an osteoarthritis warrior myself and someone who was diagnosed early on in very early adulthood, I experienced a lot of grief associated with my diagnosis. So for anyone who's newly diagnosed, I would recommend that they assess where they are in that stage of grief.
Where does a person need to start when it comes to mental health, and why is this so important?
One of the reasons why mental health is so important is just simply because we don't have the conversation about health. So think about that, particularly in communities that look like ours. How many times have we had this conversation of mental health and substance abuse? Right? We really don't probably have this conversation often. So the first thing we need to overcome is knowledge. Right? But we're looking to overcome anything in life. That's the very first thing, right? Our ignorance. We have to overcome that.
How it is as a person who is diagnosed, how can they actually find where they are and build from that with the tools you provide?
It all starts with faith for me. Faith has been the foundation in everything in my life, and dealing with chronic illness, faith is definitely what has gotten me through and has helped me to be able to thrive. And so when I started my business, RA Warrior Fitness, praying about the name, God gave me the name, and just kind of my vision. And my 3 pillars are faith, food, and fitness.
The importance of gut health and how it's linked to autoimmune disorders from a naturopathic?
So as a naturopathic doctor, the main goal is to look at the root cause of what's causing the autoimmune flare or the autoimmune disease. And there are multiple factors that can lead to an autoimmune condition. So the first thing that I look at, I would say, is trauma.
That you know now that you wish you know then, that you want an OA warrior to know today?
You are not your disease, and that your worth is not wrapped up in the disease. And so a lot of my research during my PhD focused on identity in osteoarthritis and how changes in identity can impact well-being for osteoarthritis warriors.
Get help. We all need support, and we all need someone to hold our hands and walk us through the process of healing. Healing is really hard. When you really open the door to heal the traumas and heal from a root cause perspective and not just put a Band-Aid on things, it's really hard.
Let them, let me. Have y'all read Mel Robbins' book called The Let Them Theory? Okay, that book has been a game changer for me. And pretty much the let them theory is letting go of things that are beyond your control and focusing on what you can do.
The world that we live in with the internet, social media, those sorts of things, they are helpful, but they're not always clinical. And so I think a lot of times what happens is we confuse popularity with truth. And those two are not necessarily always the same thing. So the first thing would be to seek professional help, right? We'll talk to somebody with a degree, a license, some experience, something, right? Your individual experience might be important and it might be relevant, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's scientific.
Hey everyone, my name is LaDonica Whitfield and I am one of the speakers on the business panel today. And I am having such a great time connecting with some of these beautiful sisters that are living with autoimmune diseases, and they are warriors. They are killing it in everything that they do. It's beautiful. If y'all did not get to make it, y'all make sure that y'all come out next year because you definitely missed out on a treat.
We are at the Inflamed Sisters Thriving, and my experience so far has been very educational. I have been gathered with other warriors from different diagnoses, and I continue to support this journey, and they have also gained a lot of experience with connecting other warriors. So I say join along and don't forget next year.
So this patient was 58 years old, and for years, during the winter rather, what happens? Your skin gets dry, get a little itchy spots, and you scratch it and everything, but it started getting worse and worse and worse. And now they were red and they were scaly and they were so itchy, she was actually starting to scratch her skin and it was getting all bloody. Well, what do? If it's wet, you dry it. If that doesn't work, what do? Give them steroids. Okay, so this patient first got steroids, didn't work, topical, and so what they did then wasn't good enough for surgery, or serious enough for surgery, so they gave her oral steroids, high dose steroids, to the point where she would be walking down the road, walking down the corridor, and just bouncing off the walls because she couldn't walk. She was that dizzy. We were giving her such high doses of steroids. So, what is eczema? It's a dry inflammation of the skin.
So autoimmune conditions are most common disease category affecting millions of Americans each year. 13.5 million in America, 4% of the world's population. 78% of autoimmune diseases occur in women, including African Americans, Hispanic, Asian, Native Americans, who are more likely to develop lupus. The reason why autoimmunity is on the rise is because of the increase in obesity, which can interfere with the body's ability to regulate inflammation. There's also can be a genetic predisposition. There are also environmental concerns, such as modern cleanliness, where sterilization practices can reduce exposure to good bacteria. One of the most important factors that you guys have been hearing about all night is also the diet. Diets that are high in calories, high in cholesterol, high in sugar, high in saturated fat, salt, low in fiber, antioxidants, which all can lead to inflammation and insulin resistance.
Right now, with the funds you do have, what are the best investments that you can make so that you can make sure that down the line you have what you need to thrive?
Most people don't plan to fail, they fail planning. So just like you need a health checkup, you need a financial checker. And when you're entrepreneurs, you're out working hard and you're giving all that expertise to the things that you do, but no one's minding the money.
What are some of the one core thing that you feel that people that are in the business area need to know in reference to that compliance, the HR side of things?
So what I would actually advise you is to more or less do what you can to shift your mindset. That's been said to you so many times tonight. You need to realize that you're also an asset and not a liability. That is number one. And then also try to master emotional intelligence. Keep yourself self-aware of what's happening, but also self-regulate.
Tell me, why is community for women who are in business so important?
When it comes to business, we try to do things on our own. When it comes to being a mother, we try to do things on our own. When it comes to us hurting and us feeling like we have to be strong, we do that alone. So I wanted to build a community because we don't have to do things alone, especially for the ones that's in this room. We always want to be strong, but a lot of times we feel like we don't have someone else to be strong with us or strong for us, and we need that.
How a person who is within that industry, which it really is one, can actually advocate but also be valued at the same time, that be appreciated for the work that they're doing. Not just thank you, ma'am, but valued monetarily as well.
Educate yourself about what you have going on in your body, the disease and condition that you have. You need to be educated. If somebody asks you a question, you need to know your body, you need to know the stages, all those things. Educate yourself. Know your worth. Please do not fall for, oh, we want to do this for the good of the community. We thought that you could volunteer your services. We're a small organization. Now, listen, if you have a hardcore organization and you know for sure that they're struggling, for sure. I'm volunteering now. I'm on the board. This is an organization that I feel very strongly about. And so yeah, I volunteer my services. But a pharmaceutical company can never walk up to me and say that this is going to be a volunteer. Please. They will take advantage of you and take advantage of you wanting to be out there.
Oh, this evening's event was a phenomenal event, and it's not often in our community that we get to gather in one place and talk about chronic diseases, and particularly autoimmune diseases in this instance, and to get a better understanding of the social determinants of health and how those determinants impact our lives. From the information that was shared about whole food and the information that was shared on just trying to live our best lives and take care of ourselves, I truly found it inspirational. And for me, one of the biggest and most inspiring aspects of this evening was hearing from the RA warriors and knowing that we can do these things. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Crystal. So this event was amazing, and I'm not surprised. I knew it was going to be great. It was amazing to meet so many different people and hear their life experiences. I personally have hidradenitis suppurativa, diabetes, and PCOS, and I try to manage it more holistic. So being in a room full of people talking about holistic remedies and things like that versus trying to shove pills down my mouth was refreshing. It was amazing to see so many women in the medical field, in business, just thriving. It was a motivation in itself, just being in the atmosphere of so many successful people, but not just successful in the sense of big business, but successful in the way that they are living their life as an inspiration. Yeah, it was great.
Hi, thank you again for joining us, and welcome to the Inflamed Sister Thriving 3rd Annual Summit in Gala. We plan to do this forever.